Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio, and today we're going to look at the four main bar chord shapes. If you've never done bar chords before, this lesson will be good because it'll show you how to play the shapes, but don't expect to be able to play them right away. Usually it takes quite a bit of time to get comfortable. Now, if you've never done these bar chords before and you end up getting them within, let's say, the first week, that's great. But more typically, this will take you a few months probably to really master these chord shapes. But let's just get started, jump in, and I've written a piece for you, writing a nice easy progression, well not easy, straightforward progression I should say. If you've done bar chords before, this will help you work on your rhythmic strumming. So I'm not adding any drums here, I'm just doing all the rhythm myself to show you how you can keep a rhythm going by using these bar chords and dead strings, okay? So like I said, we're doing the four main bar chord shapes that come up most often. They're not all easy, but let's take a listen to the piece here. I'll play it for you, and then we can talk about the bar chord shapes, where they come from, and then learn the actual piece that I've written here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can go back and repeat again. But I'll stop it there, okay? So that's just sort of an endless loop, and you'll see that for all students here. You'll see that on your PDF that you get in the student account. So you're going to see that chord just repeats, okay? So first things we should talk about are going to be the bar chord shapes. So understanding where they come from, how to play them. And if you have already done this before and you want to just learn this piece, skip. So if you look below in the description, you'll see the actual lesson portion, where this is the first part is going to be actually playing the bar chord, so learn how to play the shapes, but then the next portion you can click on it and it will actually show you how to play the progression we're doing, okay? So talking about the chord shapes. So these bar chords I'm playing, they come from open chords. And the open chords we're going to look at are going to be E major, E minor, A major, and A minor. So really E and E minor, A and A minor. That's where we're playing these bar chords, or where these bar chords come from. So if we had an E major chord and we move it up one fret, we can get a version of an F chord, but the thing is we don't have all the strings. This one sounds cool, but not all of them are going to sound really, really nice, right? So to move this chord up, we need to also move up that open nut position. So as we move up here, we need something there. So you could use a capo, if you like using capos, that can work. But if you want to move around freely on the fretboard, we need to have a finger in place. So our finger is the capo on fret number 1. And then we're basically playing the E chord with these 3 fingers, right? So ring, pinky, and middle finger on string 5, 4, and 3. And I'm using, on the 5th string, I'm using fret 3, 4th string is fret 3, and 3rd string is fret number 2. If you've never done this before, the F chord is actually one of the hardest bar chords because the nut is here. Usually the string height on most guitars, especially if they're just from the factory, hasn't been set up at all. It's going to be the highest position here, really tough to do. So if you find this hard to do here, move it down to the 5th fret if you want to get used to it. So that's that first shape, right? So I call it the 6th root, okay? So string number 6, or the low E root, major chord. So 6th root, major chord, or low E, major chord. But 6th root, to me, is how I describe this, okay? And then the other shape, the middle finger comes off, and that becomes a minor, like an E minor, right? So that's the 6th root minor chord. So that's just sort of an intro to those shapes. Now the A chord, on the other hand, the root note's on string 5, on the A string. So I call this a 5th root chord. All right, so 6th root, 5th root. And so we move this up. We actually have to move up the first finger, but the other finger, the bar for the A major chord, is the ring finger. Now, this is not the easiest bar chord, okay? So right here, like the A chord, we use that ring finger to bar the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. When I move it up, I'm not actually playing the 1st string, so the 1st string is blocked out, and my index finger is on the 5th string, 1st fret. Some people do this. I find that way more awkward than just using my ring finger. You can do what suits you, but this is what I've used for years and years and years. And I just don't play the first string, okay? But if you want to use this way, you can include that first string. I just find that weird, really strange and weird to switch between when I'm going between chords. So instead of, it's just awkward for my hand. Okay, so this is the B flat now. So the A, the B flat, but that moves all the way up the fretboard. So all these shapes move up, okay? And same thing A minor, when I move it up, the first finger is on the 5th string. So this is a 5th root minor chord. The ring and pinky finger on the 4th and 3rd string. This is on the 3rd fret. Middle finger on the 2nd fret of string number 2. So that's just me moving that up so you can hear it. And so those are the main 4 chord shapes, 4 main bar chords you're going to encounter. Now you will encounter, the major 7th, minor 7th, dominant 7 chords, as well as different shapes that are bar chords that come from different, open chords. But those are the main 4 that I use all the time and that most songs will contain. And even this major chord, like the 5th root major chord, that's awkward. So a lot of students of mine will take quite a long time to get comfortable with this. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's not going to be, right away you're going to get that down. But you can always get away by, instead of playing your C here, for example, you can play it up here. The piece I wrote today will include all 4 of those shapes to at least get you used to it. So the first step, if you've never done these bar chords before, I'll show you these chords. Just work on the chord shapes. Don't worry about the rhythm. Once you're comfortable with the chord shapes, you can focus on the rhythm, okay? So the first chord that comes in the song is a G. So 3rd fret all the way from string 6 to string 1. And this is the portion where we're actually looking at the chords from the song, okay? So if you jumped in right now, we have a G chord, 5th fret string number 5 and 4, and the middle finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret. So our G chord. Now we're going to play the next chord as an E minor. We're going to slide this all the way down to fret number 7 and bring our ring, pinky, and middle finger down 1 string. And this is a 5th root minor chord, so an E minor. So G, E minor. Now we're going to slide back 2 frets for our A minor, bring everything up 1 string, and take the middle finger off. This is an A minor. Okay, so again, G, E minor, A minor, and the final chord, D. So bring our index finger down 1 string to the 5th string, and the ring finger will bar on fret number 7. Okay, so ring finger there. And that's our D chord. Okay, so the final chord name, if I didn't mention it already, is a D. So G, E minor, A minor, D. Those are the 4 chords you need to know for this piece today. So if you can get those comfortable, feel free to pause this video, come back a few days, a few weeks if you need to. Don't worry, this takes time. Okay, so don't try to rush it. Don't try to rush bar chords. If you're not getting comfortable in one day, it's because you just need to be consistent over a long, long time. Sounds funny, but it could take you 3 months. It could take you 4 months. It could take you a week. It really depends on the individual, okay? And what you've done with your hands before. If it's taking you a while, just remember, maintain consistency. Even just do it like a minute or 2 minutes per day or per practice session, and slowly over time you'll get better. If you don't practice them because you find them awkward, you're never going to get to the point of actually being able to use them. So just be consistent with it. You will get there. I promise. I promise. I'm not lying about that. So that's our first progression. So what I did for the strumming, I went down, up, down, up. I relaxed the hand because I don't like holding that chord too long. My hand gets tired. And I go down, up with my hand just resting on the strings. It also gives me a chance to move to my second chord. 3rd chord. I do give it a strong push on that 1, 2, 3. It's a really heavy strum. Now, the second time through on the D chord, I go down, up, and then I go down, up, as a mute strum, and then one more strum. Because I'm going back to A minor. So it's sort of like a lead in. A minor, D, G, E minor, A minor, D, G. And it's the same thing on the G there. So A minor, D, G. Do that extra strum, down, up, then down, up, scratch strum, and then down on the G. Then I go back to A minor, D, E minor, A minor, and then I do the same rhythm on the A minor, down, up, scratch strum, down, up, and then down on the A minor. Strum on the D chord, and then it just goes back and loops over. Right, so the second portion. I think I even played the rhythm wrong on the G there for you, so I should demonstrate that part again. The second, where we double up on the G. There we go. All right, and then an endless loop. Okay, so I know that was a fast description of what I was playing there, but the first step is the bar chords. So if you're not comfortable with the bar chords, you're not going to be able to go through all this strumming. So you need to get comfortable with the bar chords first. Then once you're comfortable with the bar chords, the strumming will make more sense. I just keep my strumming hand moving. My left hand is what's controlling the rhythm. So by relaxing my hand, I maintain sort of the tension and release concept where I'm putting tension on my fingers, releasing them, and that allows me to maintain those bar chords over long periods of time. If I just had to hold the chord, I can already feel a cramp right now. I mean, if I did 30 seconds of that, it might really start hurting my ring and pinky finger just from the pressure there. And I mean, I don't like that feeling just because I've played guitar long enough to know that, at some point you will injure yourself by overdoing things. So holding that tension too long, I know for myself, doesn't lead to anything good. So I always have some kind of relief mechanism in. That's my strumming. So what I'm doing here, my left hand is going on, off. So those kind of rhythms I can do for a long period of time, whereas just holding the chord, there's a limit. I mean, maybe 30 seconds a minute. I don't even really like to do that at all. I don't find it necessary as well. So if there was a song with straight strumming like that, I just use a capo and open chords. So keep that in mind with bar chords, and especially on the acoustic guitar, it makes it much more difficult. So have some fun with this piece. Hopefully this helps you with your bar chord shape. So even if you don't know the bar chords yet today, hopefully this means in a couple weeks you'll know them, or at least know what to do with them. Maybe you won't be able to actually use them in a song yet, but that's cool. Just take your time with it, and let's see where you get. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll be back next week with more stuff just like this.